Hello guys, another conversation, another opportunity to know something about AI. My guest is Asia Brasset. Cześć Asiu. Cześć Asiu, because we are in Poland on a great conference in Katowice. From Into, the company who is the leader of implementing that innovation approach in your business. So, the first question, how to make the AI implementation, AI tools more accessible?
Well, that's a fantastic question. That's the core of our talk later. I believe accessibility is one of the most important aspects for equity, for making AI innovation fair and inclusive. Okay. So obviously accessibility is very important. First of all, we need to consider that the AI solution is accessible to various people. Therefore, it needs to consider the ranges of digital abilities. Some people are very advanced, some obviously not advanced at all. So therefore, AI solutions, AI-assisted tools have to consider the variety of literacy. Mm-hmm. And be able to provide, so to say, training or guide people through their services so they are actually able to use them rather than dropping out. Mm-hmm. And then only those who are digitally very fluent, currently advanced users can use them.
Okay, so I'll be very brutal, and I need to ask you, is it that approach affordable for the companies, like to make it accessible? Because the companies, they just look at the numbers. And what do you think it would be?
Well, if you make it accessible, you will have more users, so that's more money, right? Okay. And rather than you focusing on the very small group of very digital able people. So I think that's absolutely an opportunity to make more revenue, absolutely, because you can reach more people.
Why is so important? Like maybe that technology, it's not for everyone. Like, do you think it's important agenda for everyone? Okay, everyone should have an access for AI. Why? What is the reason?
It's a bit similar question. Should everybody have access to the internet? Okay. So, to knowledge.
So you compare that to things.
Yeah, okay. I do compare. Another way of making it AI accessible, it needs to be available in many different languages. Mm-hmm. Right now, majority of tools are available in English. So, for example, a tool called Grammarly or Otter, you're only able to use them in English. So, but they are giving a big advantage to companies to be able to work more efficiently, have data sets, analyzed, for example, with Grammarly Go. So your company is advancing with these tools, going ahead, being more efficient, making more money. So if you're in Poland and you as a company can't use it because your company is working in Polish, then you're already one step behind. So right now, I believe it's already happening that companies that are being led and are working in English with all their employees are already advancing.
Fair enough. Thank you. So why, how to do that by design? Because that's like your main topic or your speech today. How to make that inclusivity by design? Like what kind of, how we can use design to make it accessible.
So I think, the example on digital literacy, of course, through design, you can now design different journeys, different touch points that help you to learn this particular tool, to learn your new habits. Mm-hmm. That can be done by UX designers very much so.
What kind of challenging you can see on your agenda, like if you want to promote that an inclusive design approach, what is the biggest challenge on your road? What you can see, notice in a few years, for example?
Awareness, being conscious that it's actually an opportunity. right? Like rather than thinking that this is going to stop me making money, you're actually thinking this is actually going to make me more money because I'm going to gain more trust with more people, with more stakeholders, and therefore my business can advance. So it's a bit like, I give you an example. For example, if in the 80s, when, you know, or even maybe even earlier, when we started using a lot of plastics in our everyday packaging in the supermarkets, you know, when people started talking then, you know, some super activists saying that, you know, we shouldn't be using so many plastics because it's, you know, in 20, 30 years time, we're going to have a big problem. You know, people think, well, come on, you know, I just need to make money right now. So it's a bit like this. You know, it's a bit like this. It's the only thing is that AI is advancing so fast that the problem we're going to have is not in 20, 30 years time, but in 3 years time.
Yes, of course. Some argue that striving for complete inclusivity can stifle innovation. How do you respond to such claims?
In what way would it stifle innovation?
Yeah, because if we need to, you know, pay attention and focus on make it accessible for everyone, we need to take small steps and just don't push it so fast forward, because we need to make some basics, some grounds, some roots for everyone, and that's how it could be a problem.
Yeah, of course. So I think inclusivity doesn't mean you should launch things globally and to everyone and everywhere all at the same time. You know, going step by step, but having the plan to access bigger groups, access different demographics, people who have different bandwidths. I think that's another really important aspect of accessibility, to design services that can work in different bandwidths, because obviously in that way we're excluding huge amounts of populations. If you have the plan to do so, to improve this accessibility, then you can go step by step, obviously.
How that inclusivity but design plays a, for example, pivotal role in your company?
Being equitably orientated is absolutely the core of what we are doing and how we are working with big companies such as WhatsApp and Google and Amazon and so on. So how we're doing it is we're offering access for these companies to do research, qualitative user research all over the world in an efficient but high quality way. So we have researchers all around the world on the ground. So that, for example, a company doesn't only do their research in the country where they are located. So an American company could do user research with the Americans around the office and then design a service that is based on those behaviors. It's like a mince machine, right? What you put in gets out. But that's, you know, one, you are much more risky to launch it globally and have success. And two, it's obviously doesn't include the voices from, you know, different parts of the world to make it actually inclusive and actually creating a product that can then be used by many.
For example, if you get too small sample for your focus group, it's just like the data is not correct. So your design, if you are designing some services or product on based on that, that's gonna be like, no, it could not fit to the market. So today we are meeting on some great conference. It's about AI, and I'm asking the people here. That's my last question, or pretty always. To get out from the bubble, because we are in the bubble, and I think it's a little bit close to that inclusivity part. Trying to find an answer on that question, how we can make the first step for the people, on like business owners, are really interesting about AI, but they don't know how to do that, like what they should do, because they don't have time to study a lot. They don't have, for example, money to just hire the company, like big company, to to implement some system. How to do that, because they don't want to lose their leverage on the market, and without AI, it could happen.
Yeah, so if businesses want to adopt AI-assisted tools to help them with efficiency, for example, in that way, I would say they should treat the chosen services like a new employee. Really consider and like interview it, so to say, how equitable, for example, it is, how accessible is it, and try not to employ somebody who is a racist, try not to employ somebody who is a sexist, because many of the tools right now are. They are. So, and if you do employ a sexist, like for example a Midjourney in your team, and you implement it and you choose to do so, just at the very least, be conscious that what content you're getting is a very sexist content. Right? And the other thing is, treat those tools like an intern. They seem clever, but they really need us to guide them. They have the potential, like a new intern, some graduate from college comes out and they have the potential, but really you can tell them, could you please create a strategic presentation to me? You get rubbish.
Ask, but that's going to be bad.
So treat them like an intern. Treat them and really give all the guidance, all the training. Consider that they probably haven't seen the world and haven't been around the block yet. And that's it.
Very interesting parallel. I love it. I will use it in the future, I'm sure. Okay, I know that you need to go right away because you've got that speech. I cross my finger, and thank you for participating with that interview.
Thank you.
We will catch.
Thank you for the great questions.
Thank you. Ciao. Ciao. And thank you. Ciao.